Tom and Amelia were the school's power couple. They had been together since first year of high school, and everyone envied their relationship. Jerry was one of those people who envied their relationship. Not because he wanted a relationship like theirs, but because he had a crush on Tom also since the first year of high school, when Tom helped Jerry carry a desk to the class. When he saw him struggling, Jerry has had a crush on Tom since that day till now that they are in their final year of high school. Even though they never spoke again after that day, Jerry's crush on Tom never faded. In fact, he found himself liking Tom even more. Despite Tom having a girlfriend and showing clear affection for her, Jerry was content with quietly admiring Tom from a distance. One day, to Jerry's surprise, an unexpected person approached him, Tom. Tom made an unusual request. He asked Jerry to pretend to be his boyfriend and meet his mom. Jerry was taken aback, unable to believe his ears. They hadn't exchanged a single word since the first year of high school, and now, as they finally had a chance to talk, he was being asked to pretend to be Tom's boyfriend. Jerry asked Tom to explain the reason behind this unusual request and why he wanted him to play the role of his boyfriend in front of his mom. Tom then explained that he wanted to do this because his mom had never liked Amelia. She constantly pestered him to break up with her. Tom expressed his frustration, saying he was tired of his mom's persistent requests to end the relationship with Amelia. He thought that by introducing a guy as his new partner to his mom, she would be so shocked that she would rather see him dating Amelia than with a guy. This way, he could freely date Amelia without any further complaints or interference from his mother. Jerry felt a bit uneasy with Tom's words, but at the same time, he couldn't deny the excitement of spending time with Tom, even if it was only as a pretend boyfriend. He agreed to Tom's request without hesitation. Tom expressed his gratitude, thanked Jerry, and asked for his phone number so they could start planning the fake date to introduce him to his mom. Before Tom could leave after exchanging numbers, Jerry couldn't help but ask why Tom had chosen him to be his fake boyfriend. Tom simply replied, "Because you seem easy to talk to." And with that, he left. The day of meeting Tom's mom arrived, and Tom and Jerry meticulously planned every detail, making sure they were on the same page. They wanted to ensure they didn't accidentally provide conflicting answers to Tom's mom's questions. When Tom introduced Jerry to his mom as his boyfriend, the reaction they received was completely unexpected. Tom had anticipated shock and disapproval, but to their surprise, his mom embraced Jerry as if he were her long-lost child. Finally reunited, Tom and Jerry exchanged astonished glances, both taken aback. Tom's mom warmly pulled Jerry to sit beside her, and they engaged in deep conversations and hearty laughter for hours. They seemed so engrossed in their discussion that they completely disregarded Tom, who was left wondering what on earth they could be talking about for so long and what was making them laugh so heartily. As the day turned into evening, Jerry realized the time and expressed his need to head home, worried that his own mother might be concerned. Tom's mom suggested that Tom should drive Jerry back home. Before they left, she offered a playful warning to Tom, telling him not to break Jerry's heart and adding that she'd be keeping a close eye on him. Jerry chuckled at the remark and bid farewell to Tom's mom. However, Tom was far from happy. His plan to use Jerry as a decoy had completely backfired. Tom dropped Jerry off at his home without exchanging a word and quickly drove away. Jerry, on the other hand, was carefree and full of excitement. He didn't pay much attention to Tom's distant demeanor. Instead, he was thrilled that he had the opportunity to spend time at Tom's home and with Tom's mom. A week later, Tom approached Jerry at school and asked if Jerry would like to go on a date with him. Jerry, elated that Tom seemed to be showing interest in him, readily accepted the invitation. On the day of the date, Tom texted Jerry the details of the place and time for their outing. When Jerry arrived at the designated location, his initial excitement turned into confusion and disappointment. Tom wasn't alone. He was with Amelia. Jerry approached them, and when Amelia noticed him, she questioned Tom. She asked if he knew Jerry and why Jerry was there with them on their date. Tom explained his plan to Amelia, admitting that it had backfired. He also told her about how his mom had said that she would be keeping an eye on him. Amelia, slightly amused, suggested that his mom was probably joking about watching him, but Tom said he knew his mom well and believed she meant it. Tom then confessed that his mom really liked Jerry and was constantly inquiring about him. He added that she would be both angry and disappointed if she found out that he had lied about dating Jerry. Tom suggested that they should keep things as they were. He proposed that Jerry accompany them whenever they went out together, just in case Tom's mom had indeed sent someone to spy on them. Jerry realized that he would essentially become a third wheel, witnessing the person he had feelings for being affectionate with his girlfriend. However, he cared too much about Tom to say no, so he reluctantly accepted the role of the third wheel. Amelia's dislike for Jerry was evident, and she made hurtful comments whenever the opportunity arose. Despite this, Jerry chose to remain silent and ignored her mean remarks, not wanting to create any further issues. Tom also did not intervene or speak up to stop Amelia from being unkind to Jerry. From that day forward, on every date that Tom and Amelia went on, Jerry would be there, but it often felt as though he was invisible. Tom and Amelia paid little attention to him, unless, of course, Amelia wanted to make a hurtful comment. Over time, Amelia started making excuses to avoid showing up on their dates. Sometimes she wouldn't even bother with excuses and simply didn't appear, leaving Tom waiting. With it mostly being just Tom and Jerry waiting for Amelia, Tom started engaging in conversations with Jerry. As they spent more time together, Tom discovered that Jerry was not only fun, but also an incredibly interesting person. As time went on, Tom grew less concerned when Amelia failed to show up for a date, and he began to genuinely enjoy the time spent with Jerry. They not only continued their outings without Amelia, but also started hanging out on their own, no longer needing Amelia as an excuse. Jerry became a frequent visitor to Tom's house, and Tom's mom always excitedly welcomed him. As Tom and Jerry spent more time together, their friendship deepened, and Jerry's feelings for Tom continued to grow stronger. However, he felt compelled to suppress his emotions because he knew that Tom was in a committed relationship with Amelia. One day, Jerry's mom asked him to help at her cafe due to being short-staffed. When he arrived, he was taken aback to find Amelia sitting there with another guy, clearly flirting and even sharing a kiss. Jerry was deeply shocked by what he witnessed. Prevent Amelia from noticing him and realizing he had seen her, Jerry quickly apologized to his mom and left the cafe. Jerry was left in a dilemma, unsure whether he should inform Tom about what he had seen or keep it to himself. Jerry remained torn about whether to share what he had witnessed with Tom. During their usual hangouts, his internal struggle made it difficult to focus. His mind was preoccupied with the question of whether or not to inform Tom about the situation he had witnessed. In an attempt to broach the subject, Jerry cautiously asked Tom about his relationship with Amelia, to which Tom casually replied that he and Amelia hadn't been in touch for about a month, and she hardly ever comes to school, so he doesn't see her. Tom maintained a surprisingly emotionless expression, as he turned to Jerry, inquiring why he was interested in the status of his relationship with Amelia. Jerry swiftly and nervously responded, "Oh, I was just curious," attempting to downplay the significance of his question. He chose to keep what he had witnessed at the cafe to himself. One day after school, Tom followed Jerry to his house, claiming he had never been there. Jerry reminded Tom that he had dropped him off at his house several times, but Tom clarified that he had never actually gone inside. He then playfully requested to see Jerry's room. Upon arriving at Jerry's room, Tom glanced around and complimented Jerry on how neat and tidy his room was, noting that it was even cleaner than his own. He felt at ease sitting on Jerry's bed and began to ask if Jerry was typically alone at home after school. Tom had noticed that there was no one else in the house when they arrived. Jerry explained that his mom was usually occupied running her cafe, and since he had no siblings, he often found himself home alone after school. Tom then suggested to Jerry that, in that case, he should come over to Tom's house after school, or, if he preferred, Tom could come to Jerry's house and keep him company until Jerry's mom returned home, so that Jerry doesn't feel bored or lonely. Jerry excitedly agreed. Jerry joined Tom on the bed, and they both began working on their individual assignments. But Tom wasn't focusing on his assignment. Instead, he just gazed at Jerry, who was diligently focused on his work. As Tom continued to stare, Jerry eventually turned to him and asked why he was gazing at him instead of concentrating on his own assignment. Tom asked Jerry with a surprised expression how he knew he was staring at him. Jerry responded that he could sense Tom's gaze from the corner of his eyes. Their conversation drifted off, leaving them in a moment of silence. Jerry's eyes were fixed on Tom, and Tom's gaze had shifted to Jerry's lips. In a sudden and unexpected turn, Tom's lips met Jerry's. Amid the passionate kiss, Jerry suddenly pulled away, overwhelmed by guilt for kissing someone who was already in a relationship. Rather than feeling joyful about finally sharing a kiss with the person he had liked for so long, Tom also withdrew quickly, expressing his apologies, and admitted that he didn't know what had come over him. He suggested that they should forget about this moment. Tom abruptly got up, making a flimsy excuse about his mom wanting him to come home early. He rushed out of the room, so hastily that Jerry didn't have a chance to say anything in response. The following day at school, Jerry spotted Tom and Amelia holding hands. Tom attempted to wave at Jerry, but he feigned ignorance and walked in the opposite direction. Jerry deliberately avoided Tom whenever he attempted to initiate a conversation. He believed it was best to keep his distance from Tom and try to move on, acknowledging that Tom was in a relationship with Amelia, even though Amelia was probably cheating on Tom. Tom and Amelia's relationship continued, seemingly unaffected by the fact that Amelia had ghosted Tom for weeks. She returned with a weak excuse, and Tom accepted it without pressing for further explanation. However, each time Tom and Amelia went on a date or spent time together, Tom found it hard to feel happy. His mind was constantly occupied with thoughts of Jerry. Deep down, Tom was aware that he had fallen in love with Jerry, but he felt utterly lost and unsure of how to handle this realization. At school, after days of attempting to communicate with Jerry, Tom finally managed to catch Jerry. He asked Jerry why he had been avoiding him, but Jerry denied that he had been avoiding Tom. Tom asked Jerry if his avoidance was related to the kiss they had shared recently. Jerry replied, clarifying that it wasn't about the kiss. He explained that he felt like Tom didn't need him anymore. Now that Amelia was back in the picture, with a concerned expression, Tom inquired, "What do you mean by I don't need you anymore? I thought we were friends." Why would Amelia's return change that? Jerry explained that these were his own feelings and concerns, and that he believed it might be best for both of them to keep a distance, even though they were friends. Tom responded by telling Jerry that he didn't want them to keep their distance and that he wanted things to return to the way they were. He expressed that he felt happiest when he was with Jerry, and asked Jerry to promise him that he wouldn't intentionally avoid him ever again. Jerry then smiled and promised Tom. Tom and Jerry were having a meal in the cafeteria when Amelia joined them. Upon seeing Jerry, she rolled her eyes and regarded him with evident disdain. Then she turned to Tom and asked why Jerry was there. Tom explained to Amelia that he and Jerry were friends and had been hanging out before she arrived. While they were eating, Amelia persistently continued with her hurtful remarks toward Jerry as she had done before. Jerry kept glancing at Tom, hoping that he would say something to intervene and stop Amelia, but Tom remained silent. Frustrated and angered by the situation, Jerry abruptly stood up and left the table. Tom watched Jerry leave with a regretful and sad expression, but he didn't get up to follow him. In class, Tom found it impossible to concentrate on the lessons. He was overwhelmed with a sense of guilt and regret for not standing up for Jerry and allowing Amelia to mistreat him. Tom's deep introspection was so consuming that he didn't even notice when the class had ended and everyone else had already left. As Tom finally realized that the school day was over, he hurriedly made his way out to find Jerry and offer his apology. However, just as he was about to leave, Amelia appeared and requested that Tom drive her home. Tom firmly told her that he had something important to attend to. Amelia, growing increasingly frustrated, demanded to know what could be more important than her. In a moment of clarity, Tom recognized that it was time to end his relationship with Amelia without overthinking it. He conveyed to her that they should break up. Amelia, still upset, questioned if he was ending the relationship merely because she had asked him to drive her home. Tom responded, asserting that the decision to break up wasn't solely based on that request, but rather something he should have done a long time ago. Amelia, with a certain nonchalance, confessed that she hadn't been particularly fond of Tom anyways, and had been seeing someone else behind his back. In response, Tom expressed his gratitude for her honesty, acknowledging that her revelation would absolve him of any guilt regarding the sudden breakup. He then rushed out to find Jerry, but the school was empty, and Jerry was gone. The thought of going to Jerry's house to see him crossed his mind, but he lacked the courage to do so. The entire night was filled with restlessness, and Tom couldn't sleep, anxiously awaiting the next day when he could finally see and talk to Jerry. The next day arrived, and Tom wasted no time in searching for Jerry as soon as he got to school. Fortunately, he spotted Jerry just as Jerry was about to enter his classroom. Tom hurriedly approached Jerry and asked if they could talk. Jerry agreed, and they both moved to a quiet spot where they could talk. Tom sincerely apologized to Jerry for not intervening when Amelia mistreated him. Jerry, in response, conveyed that although he had initially felt hurt by Tom's inaction, he had already moved past it and forgiven him. He assured Tom that there was no need for an apology. Tom disclosed to Jerry that he had broken up with Amelia. Jerry, with a nod, inquired, "So why are you telling me this?" Tom responded, "I just thought you should know." Tom then asked Jerry if they were still be friends. Jerry agreed, saying that they could maintain their friendship, but suggested that perhaps they shouldn't be as close as they were before. Tom quickly asked why, and Jerry told him that he shouldn't ask questions else they wouldn't be friends at all. With a hint of sadness, Tom accepted Jerry's condition, saying, "Okay." He then added, "At least, can you visit my house from time to time?" My mom misses you and is always asking about you." Tom's mom was Jerry's weakness, and Tom knew that. Jerry agreed to the request and left for his class. Back at home, Tom confided in his mom, sharing the details of his past plan and how his feelings had evolved, causing him to develop feelings for Jerry. He also explained how Jerry no longer wanted to be as close to him as before. Tom asked his mom to help him get closer to Jerry once again. His mom couldn't even get upset with him and readily agreed to assist. She said she is only helping him because she adores Jerry. And if Tom were to lose Jerry, it would be a loss for her too. Tom's mom made it a habit to call Jerry almost every day, inviting him to come and visit her. Jerry, unable to resist her, often accepted, especially considering he was typically home alone. Whenever Jerry visited Tom's house, Tom's mom would invariably find an activity or task for Tom and Jerry to engage in, creating opportunities for them to be close and engage in conversation. Her knack for finding engaging activities ensured that Tom and Jerry have plenty of chances to connect. Initially, Jerry had reservations about getting too close to Tom, but over time, he gradually came around. With the various opportunities that Tom's mom provided and some genuine efforts from Tom himself, Tom and Jerry began to regain the closeness. One day, in casual conversation, Jerry mentioned that he didn't know how to swim. Tom's mom, always quick to seize an opportunity, suggested that Tom take Jerry to the pool they had at their house and teach him how to swim. Jerry initially hesitated and considered refusing, but he found it impossible to resist when he saw Tom's mom giving him the puppy dog eyes. As soon as they arrived at the poolside, Tom enthusiastically removed his shirt and dove into the pool. He encouraged Jerry to do the same, but Jerry hesitated, feeling shy about removing his shirt in front of Tom. Tom, perceptive of Jerry's discomfort, assured him that it was perfectly fine to get into the pool with his clothes on. However, Jerry expressed concern that he didn't have any spare clothes to change into afterward. In response, Tom offered Jerry the option to borrow his clothes. Reluctantly, Jerry entered the pool fully dressed, discovering that the pool was shallow enough for him to stand comfortably. Tom began teaching Jerry the basics of swimming, and as they got the hang of it, they started splashing each other with water, playing and laughing. After their enjoyable pool time, they eventually emerged from the pool and headed to Tom's room for a change of clothes. Tom provided Jerry with a set of clothes to change into, and also took some for himself. Jerry went into Tom's bathroom to change, and Tom, too, got changed. When Jerry emerged from the bathroom, he noticed Tom wearing an unzipped jacket that appeared too small for him. Jerry couldn't help but stare at the jacket, and when Tom observed Jerry's curious gaze, he teasingly asked if Jerry was admiring his chest. In response, Jerry playfully told Tom to stop daydreaming, and he moved closer to Tom to get a whiff of the jacket. After taking in the scent, he looked up at Tom and inquired, "Is this my jacket?" With a smile on his face, Tom admitted, "Yes, it's your jacket." Jerry then jokingly accused Tom of stealing his favorite jacket, explaining that he had been searching for it everywhere. Tom countered with a playful tone, saying, "I didn't steal it. I only borrowed it," all the while maintaining his smile. Jerry, curious, inquired why Tom took the jacket. Tom confessed, "I don't even know why I took it. I just wanted something that would remind me of you, and the jacket smelled exactly like you. So I took it when you left the room." Jerry playfully quipped, "So the one time I bring you to my room, you steal my favorite jacket. If I brought you to my room more often, everything in my room would be gone." They both laughed. In the days that followed, Tom and Jerry continued to grow closer and closer with each passing moment. Jerry even began spending his after-school time at Tom's house once more, this time without any prompting from Tom's mom. During a game of truth or dare, it was Jerry's turn to decide, and he opted for truth. Tom seized the opportunity and asked Jerry to reveal a secret he had never shared before. Jerry then confessed that his secret was that he had harbored feelings for Tom since their first year of high school. Tom was taken aback, his mouth agape, and he exclaimed, "Since the first year, I didn't even know you at that time." Jerry, equally shocked, responded, "What do you mean you didn't know me? You helped me carry my desk, don't you remember?" Tom admitted he honestly didn't remember. Tom then crawled up to Jerry, bringing their faces close together. He asked, "Do you still have the same feelings for me?" Jerry, as if contemplating the question deeply, responded, "I guess I do, but I am trying to make it fade away, though." Tom, not ready to give up, asked, "Is it too late for me to reciprocate the feelings you have for me?" Jerry then replied, "You were almost too late." Tom, feeling a renewed sense of hope, asked, "Does that mean I still have a chance to reciprocate the feeling?" Jerry shyly nodded his head in agreement. With a broad smile, Tom whispered, "I love you," and tenderly kissed Jerry on the lips. Jerry kissed back, and they both engaged in a passionate kiss. As they pulled away from the kiss, Jerry couldn't help but wonder if this kiss was another mistake, recalling the uncertainty of their first kiss. Tom, determined to clear things up, assured Jerry that it wasn't a mistake and that he truly meant it. He went on to explain that the first kiss wasn't a mistake either. He simply didn't know how to face Jerry afterward, and had misinterpreted Jerry's reaction, thinking that Jerry didn't like it because of the way he had pulled away from the kiss. Jerry opened up and explained that he had pulled away during their first kiss because he was dating Amelia at the time, and didn't want to be a rebound since Amelia was ignoring him at that time. Tom embraced Jerry and reassured him that he was never a rebound, expressing that he had been confused about his own feelings at that time. Tom promised to treat Jerry better and show him how much he loves him through his actions. Tom asked Jerry to be his boyfriend, and Jerry happily agreed. Tom's mom was overjoyed when she received the news. As they dated, Tom truly showed how much he loved Jerry through his actions, showering Jerry with affection and care each day. Following their graduation, Tom and Jerry decided to celebrate with a picnic date. They lovingly fed each other fruits and exchanged kisses, proudly displaying their couplehood. However, their moment of intimacy was interrupted when someone approached them, and to their surprise, it was Amelia. She asked Tom if Jerry was the reason he broke up with her, referring to Jerry as this and looking at Jerry with that face of disgust she always gave him. This time, Tom didn't wait even a second to shut Amelia up. He put her in her place and told her to leave. Amelia, seething with embarrassment and anger, stormed off. Tom, feeling remorseful for not standing up to Amelia in the past, hugged Jerry tightly and offered his sincere apology. Jerry reassured him that there was no need to apologize, and that the past was behind them. As they gazed into each other's eyes, Tom leaned in and kissed Jerry. After the kiss, he expressed his gratitude to Jerry for giving him the opportunity to be a part of his life. With a playful tone, Jerry teased, "You deserve the chance. Just don't blow it." Tom responded with a grin, saying, "I won't, even if I do. My mom would kill me." The both laughed and continued their date. The person Jerry once believed was out of reach, someone he had only admired from a distance, was now right by his side. Their love story continued with the support of their biggest fan, Tom's mom.